Hey y'all, I am here with Loso, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show, man. Again,
Man,
man.
thank you so much for having me, bro. Big fan. Obviously, I think this is my second or third
hmm
episode with you. But nonetheless, man, I'm hyped, bro. So big battle for me this weekend. So it's only right that I jump on top tier podcast, bro, and,
Yes,
and have
sir.
this conversation.
Yes, sir, man. This is one I've been waiting on. Britt, what's going on? Salute, Bum Nitty. Oh, you a goat. You already know you the goat. Uh, big matchup, man. You
Yeah,
versus Twerk. This is kind of long overdue, in my opinion.
yeah.
Um, when the battle, because I'm gonna go back to a battle that happened recently between Swamp and T Top, where Swamp was kind of upset that the luster was gone, and he felt like,
Yeah.
he wouldn't be able to get everything ramped up for this. How about you in this sense? Because y'all supposed to have been locked in. Do you
Yeah.
still got that venom for Twerk that you had when y'all first was trying to get this popping, or you had to
Um,
manufacture that? I guess what is the question?
man, man, I do, bro. And it's crazy because obviously in 2018, as soon as I got off the Gnome stage, that's who I was gunning for, right? Twerk and I had already been having exchanges. After that, we ended up doing diss records to each other. Within 24 hours, I responded, and I thought the momentum was right. In 2019, they tried to book it again. Me and Twerk actually signed contracts. I was paid a deposit to battle him on Volume 5.
Mm.
They end up last minute. They end up calling me, letting me know that they were switching me out in place of Av. So it got locked in for Av versus Twerk.
I did
Now
not
that
know that.
battle,
Wow.
yeah. So that battle, so me and Twerk were locked in. Like I'm still paid, I was still paid for that or whatnot. We just chalked it up to the game or whatnot, but contract signed and they end up giving
Why?
Av the
Why? Why?
battle.
Why did they make the switch?
Bro, honestly, they really didn't give me a reason. And I was actually pretty upset with them because you got to think about it. Right before that, I was supposed to battle K Shine on the first update card.
I do
They did an
remember that.
update card for the new app, right? This is Saga and Rum Nitty.
Mm-hmm.
This is JC franchise, Mike
Franchise.
Keith, Snake Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Loso and K Shine was on there. That's another battle in which I signed a contract for and was paid a deposit for. Now, K Shine, I understood the reasoning for that one, right? He ends up getting a deal in which he was now going to be battling Charlie Clips, Pat Stay, and I think somebody else, right? So he was slated, and so he was just like, "Yo, there's just no reason."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm never the type, Ledge, where if a battler does not want to battle me, I run to the internet and say such and such is ducking or such and
Ducking.
such is this because I understand the game.
Mm-hmm.
That was a high risk, low reward for Kayshawn, right? On
That's
an
right.
update card, I'm pretty sure they wasn't paying him what they probably were paying him for these other ones. So he's like, hey, why would I even take any energy here? Let me
Yeah.
go over there. So you know what? I understood it and I said, okay, bet, that's fine. We ended up trying to replace the battle with Old Red and some other battles. Did not go down. So that's why you didn't see Loso on the update card.
Okay.
After that, me and Twerk, we get locked in for volume 5. But
That would have been
the
crazy.
reasoning for it, the only thing that I could think of is that it was the more marketable battle at that time. At that time,
Really? You think
I
so?
think, I mean, that's the only thing I could think of is that if you were looking at the three names on like, okay, like if we're gonna go ahead and invest the money into this particular matchup on a volume card, which I think that was Averb and DNA. I think
Yeah.
that was the volume card. They were just like, hey, we want to do Av and Twerk. And I guess they end up figuring it out. And so
Mm.
that's what they did. Now, granted, the battle never went
Never
down,
happened.
you know what I'm saying? But that's what it was. So since then, there were talks. In fact, John was very close in booking it on bullpen. We were just gonna go ahead and just book it on bullpen. Did not go down. And so for me though, it was like even though it was a match that I wanted, and even though Twerk and I had been going back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
there was never a time where I said, "Yo, I'm done with this matchup." The only time that I felt like, okay, I was not going to go ahead and pursue it was when A Ward and Twerk got locked in for
Yeah,
URL.
there's no point then. Yeah.
Yeah, which was fine. I mean, me and Twerk can have our own conversation, but at that time I was like, well, you know what? It's no point in both of us battling him back to back. So when
Right.
that battle didn't go down, and then we started having conversations, I just felt with the year that I was having, I could petition to put it on Summer Madness. That was my goal. I did not want to battle Twerk in a caffeine setting because the consensus already, Ledge, is that yo, you know what? Twerk isn't as good in the Caffeine setting as he is on this big stage. So what I said, and this is kind of how I always want to take battles, like, yo, where are people at their best, right? JC, he's one of the top pins of all time. Yo, Loso, if you can beat JC in a small setting, in a Caffeine where you guys are rapping, that speaks volumes, right? I Twerk on a big stage. That's what I want. So unfortunately, URL did not feel like they wanted to reward Twerk on the Summer Madness. Here's my problem with that though, Ledge. I said that's the issue is how you guys are trying to paint the narrative. If the narrative is you guys are rewarding Twerk, then okay, it falls. But why can't the narrative be I'm rewarding Loso for his hard work and this is who he's calling out? That should have been the original narrative. The original narrative should have been Loso is being rewarded, and we are going to give him whoever he wants on Summer Madness, and then boom, he's asking for Twerk. So we were hoping we got it on Summer Madness. We did all the promo we could, and boom, they were just like, hey, we're not gonna do it. And so they talked about this Civil War card, and at first I was not with it. I was not with it because even though I knew it was the tickets were being sold and there was going to be a crowd there. I wanted this to be pay-per-view. I wanted this to be Caffeine. And so I originally declined it. And I was actually going to battle Holmesy. This is the only reason why I did not do the Holmesy battle. And this is why I took the Twerk battle. I said to myself, I just got off Gnome and no one cares. No one cares about the Jerry West battle. If I'm just being, and when I'm speaking in hyperbole, but
okay, I was about to say people tuned into that battle.
Yeah, people tuned in. People like my material. But what I'm saying is that it was at the bottom of the card, and it was a battle that when I saw media talking about it, the general consensus was, hey, this battle did not have to be on the card, and I did not want to be on a second straight card, Ledge, with the year that I'm having. With a battle that people were going to be like, hey, we don't really have to talk about Loso and Holmesy. No disrespect to Holmesy, that's my guy.
You're being realistic, though. I get what you mean.
I just needed the conversation. So I said, man, you know what? Cool. I may be missing out on a couple of things that I wanted for this particular battle. But let's do it. And then Twerk also didn't want to battle nobody else. I think his other alternative, if I would have taken Holmesy, Twerk would have been locked in for none. And so those would have been your two other battles. So now you get Loso and Twerk, you know what I'm saying? Which we feel like we probably should be the main event, but we understand T-Top
is at the crib. So
you know what I'm saying? So but nonetheless, so we're here. So I say all that to say this. Even though there's been obstacles, even though there's been hurdles and stuff like that, my desire to battle Twerk is still at an all-time high. One, because that's just who he is. He's just one of the generational talents in our sport that you kind of got to just get motivated for because you know what he's capable of. And then two, regardless of what happens Saturday, I've taken him in the best setting that he performs in. And if Loso can come out with a victory, that right there is like that's etched in stone. That's etched in history, bro. Like no one can tell me anything.
Let me play devil's advocate.
If I get the clear win or the debate, or if it's a debatable classic, whatever it is.
Let me play devil's advocate because I got to.
Go ahead.
All right. You go up there, you perform your ass off. Twerk, who hasn't been, at his best in these recent URL showings. I know in these small circuits on his like comeback tour, he's been really good.
Yeah.
He reverts back to the old Twerk. You clip him though, 30 piece. He's sloppy, choppy.
Yeah.
You know how this industry is. You're gonna get the dub, but you're not gonna get the full credit. Does that concern you? Have you even thought about that? And if
it does not because Ledge, I'm gonna be real. I feel like there is and it's going to sound odd, even though we have a history, I feel like there's a 5% chance that Twerk chokes on Saturday. Meaning I'm almost 100% confident that this will be a fully prepared New Jersey Twerk for a couple of reasons. One, he and I, right? Like there's this grudge match. He's out publicly said like, yo, this is a dream battle of mine. Two, he knows that this is kind of almost his last. Like he said this, he said he watched Gnome and he was depressed at home because he said, I knew I should have been up there. I should have been in front of Drake. I should have been on that card, yada, yada, yada. But obviously he was not. And so he's missing out on Summer Madness. He's missing out on bags, and he knows where his potential should be at. And I think that he's taking this battle very, very serious. The time limits, I mean, you guys are going to be the first one to hear this, but I was contacted by URL, and in our contracts, our time limits are only 2:30. So it's not like he has to go up there and watch. So we have a 30-second period, 30-second grace period. So it's about 3 minutes. So it's not like he's up there having to memorize for 5 minutes, or he has to worry about me rapping for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Who made that proposal? You or him?
I'm gonna say this. I was against that. So yeah. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like, I mean, I'm a rapper, bro. At the end of the day, like, I mean, a battle like this, I probably would have wrote 4 or 5 minute rounds. I just would have.
Because you got a lot to say.
Yeah, and it's just, this is Twerk. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jerry, I'll be honest, it was tough to write for Jerry. So, Jerry was getting almost maybe 245s. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it was. I mean, I don't know who, bro. I just know we were in a group chat, and that's what was communicated to us. But I also know that, on app cards, the caffeine budget is not there. So the payment that some of us are getting are not what we're usually getting. So, some battlers are just like, hey, you're not paying. You want me to go extra time, and which is rightfully, I understand exactly what their mindset is. You want me to go extra time? Well, this is what I'm going to write. So, so I say all that to say, I do not believe that Twerk is going to choke. Now, granted, worst case scenario, that does happen, and I do clip him, right? And it is what it is. At the end of the day, Ledge, like, all I could do, bro, is go up there and be the best version I can be. I want to put on a performance where people go back and they say, damn, bro, like, Loso's, like, he's just one of the guys in this culture that we can count on month in and month out to perform at a high level, no matter where I'm at. You ask the people who were in Atlanta 2 weeks ago for King Jables, and they will all tell you, yo, that performance from Loso was special.
I heard about that.
Like people were, that's what they were literally looking there, and they were just like, yo, it's a level. It was like Devin Booker walked into LA Fitness that day. That's what it felt for them. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I wanted to feel. And so I'm ready though, but do I think that I'm not worried about him stumbling, nothing like that. I think it's going to be fire. And also I think that with everybody saying like, yo, if Twerk comes prepared, Loso's not going to win, then you know what? I want Twerk to come prepared so that I can go ahead and crush that narrative, bro.
Yeah, and it's just and okay, so I was, I'm on Instagram and Twitter. I follow you on both socials. Follow him if you haven't. His, there go everything Loso on Twitter and IG on the screen. And I'm seeing these clips that you posting of unanimously every battler picking Twerk against you. And I was like, okay, is Loso there and this is like a parody? But these are like their real picks.
Yeah.
Honestly, and salute to the chat. You're on fire, Poncho, Mama. I gotta make sure I shout y'all out. Cool Whip, all of my people been here for day one. But when you see that, what are you like? I know a lot of battles be like, I don't feel no way about it. There gotta be a little you gotta feel a little disrespected by that, right?
Yeah, I just felt like, I think it's just weird. I'm in a weird spot, right? Because like behind closed doors, there isn't one battle rapper that'll be like, yo, I'm not worried about battling Loso. Like everyone knows that, right? But however, though, I guess I'm still, for some reason, people are still communicating their predictions in a way like, hey, Loso's good, but he can't, like this earlier in the year, that's how people were doing their predictions for Vixen, bro. I remember all the kings and queens predictions. A lot of them had a lot of kings winning, but the one queen that they had winning was Vixen. And I was offended by that. And I said, you know what? Not only am I going to go in there and win the battle, but I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to do something special. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted people to walk out of there saying like, yo, we were dead wrong. And so for this one too, when I watched it and I'm looking at my peers, I'm saying, okay, you know what? So what they're communicating is that Twerk on that stage and Twerk at 100 is just better than the consistent Loso that we began. Loso's great. Loso's on fire. And you've heard them say that, right? Chet, Shine, all of them. They're all like,
C3 put a little more sauce on hers though.
She kind of got violated, you know, with the laughter and even kind of like little boy and me. She was like, hey, good luck, Loso. But
yeah, that was wild.
At the end of it, it's like, yo, he's, you know, Twerk is like I said, he's polarizing, bro, and he's a generational talent. To me, he was the Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? He was the guy who we saw like, yo, man, this guy can literally take 2 steps and dunk in the lane. Like I tell people all the time, Ledge, like back in the day, you know, if you had a big battle rapper in size and stature, he was gonna bully his way, right? Yeah. But if you had a pen, you could just be like, all right, I'm gonna outright that. If somebody had a pen and was small, right, you could just use your stature, like the Conceders and all those other guys. Yeah. The problem is that Twerk was the first stretch 4 in our sport. He's the guy who comes in and he has the stature and he has the pen to write with anybody.
That's a crazy analogy. So, I like it.
Yeah, and so when people are thinking about that, they're like, yo, if he puts it all together, it's just we don't know. They just feel like, yo, no one's ever beat Twerk on 100. That's how they just feel, and rightfully so. And so even though I saw that, I'm not gonna lie, I posted that for motivation. You know, I just posted that and I watched it, and it did bother me a little bit. But I said, yo, the only thing I can do, the only way I can shut them up, bro, is not me tweeting. I didn't want to go on no rampage. I didn't want to write or post anything and say like, yo, how can y'all say this even though I've been cooking yada yada. Saturday, bro. Saturday is where I go ahead and I give my speech to the world. I give my dissertation. I give my sermon as to why you should not feel that no more moving forward.
I like that. And for those who don't know, again, here you go on your screen, the event card. You see the name, man, the Jersey Twerk versus Loso. This is August 28th, and this is in North Carolina. If you want to pull up, get your tickets. I'm sure it's going to be sold out soon, so don't miss this, man. And this is not on Caffeine. It will be dropping on an app ASAP. They do a good job with dropping these type of battles on the app as soon as possible. I expect you and Twerk to be really crazy. And out of that, that means you're in a real good position, champion of the year wise, in my opinion. Does that and I asked A-Ward this too, and I'm getting different answers from everybody, so I'm curious what you'll say. Does that dictate how you move going forward to end the year on being selective as opposed to maybe I'm gonna give this battler a shot, or are you gonna aim high? Because I remember a year ago I tweeted out I wanted to see you versus Rum, and it was a lot of people in favor of that than against that. So what's your plan after that?
So my is to aim high, right? So in boxing, you got guys who they've won 8 rounds. So the last 2 rounds they just kind of chilling or whatnot. And you could kind of lose a fight like that. You know what I'm saying? You kind of lose a fight in the judges. And here's the problem is that we are now in a tournament era, right? And tournaments are just so weighty, bro. So when you win tournaments, they just mean so much. That's why Holmesy a year ago, right? He ends up finishing 9th, right? Like the guys like Bill Collector, they end up finishing 8th and 9th. But that was predominantly, not because of the whole year, but predominantly it was the tournament run. And so the panel, if you've noticed, they have a tendency to look at guys who are battling every other 2 weeks in a tournament setting judge battle and coming out on top and saying, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and give them some extra points rather than guys like, you know, Loso, who's had an incredible year spaced out. And so for me, I can't do that because I know what Rum and Geechee has already done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know what I just know, like real sick, right? Even though he's not in a tournament, he has arguably 330s on his belt this year against top competition. Even though for me, I feel like I think I'm gonna win round of the year with the Vixen second round. I think I'm gonna be in contention for battle of the year with Chess. You know what I'm saying? So like that's like an NBA player, you know, winning the scoring title and then also getting the all NBA and then saying like, yo, am I in the MVP conversation? So for me, right after this, let's say best case scenario, I come out on top of a great battle with Twerk, or I just have a great battle, right? October, the URL's doing back-to-back cards, right? So my goal is to get on a Caffeine joint, one of the Caffeine cards, right? Because when you're in front of the world,
It's
You know,
different.
people talk about it more. It carries a little more momentum.
Absolutely.
So I don't know who though. I'll be honest. I don't know. I'm trying to think of opponents. And here's the thing though. So a part of me is like, do I cherry pick? Like what you said. Do I cherry pick in October? Because I just come off this Twerk one. Do I cherry pick on a battler that I feel like, man, you know what? I could just go in there and I could beat this guy, and that'll just be an extra, check mark on here. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what options I have there. But for December though, my goal is to be on the volume card against T-Top. That's what I want to petition for. So it'll be my October card. There's some talks. You guys are the first ones to hear this, but there's some talks about a potential big matchup in November where I'll just say that for a potential big matchup in November. I couldn't give out. I want to say the card, but
I know. No, I respect you being as transparent as you are. Like
but,
that's
great. But November, if this matchup happens that I have for November, this is a non-URL battle, but this is a matchup that goes down. Mm-hmm. I could almost pack my bags after that November joint, but that's not what I want to do. I want to go ahead and do the December volume joint against T-Top. And so at that point, then let's say I skate through that, bro, and just have great battles or even win. At that point, now I feel like I have a resume that the panels are going to have a conversation to say, forget about Loso being top 10. Is he champion of the year this year? That's what we're talking about. And so for me, like I said, I don't have the luxury to just skate. If I want to just make the top 10, yeah, fine. I feel like I'm top 10 right now, but
yeah, I got you at top 10 for right now.
Yeah, sure. I feel like I'm a top 10 battler so far this year, but that's not the goal. Like if that's the goal, then yeah, you're right. I could just ease off and just chill. But I think what I want to do is really, really like put my foot on the gas and try to make the best out of the next 3 months.
Wow. No, but the November non-URL card is almost guaranteed to be an upper echelon name for you.
Oh yeah. This would arguably be the biggest name I've ever battled.
That's saying a lot. That's saying a lot.
Think about that. And I've stated. Think about that. And I've stated. I will be that. I've battled JC. I battled Daylight. I battled B-Dot. I battled New Jersey Twerk. And if this battle goes down, this would arguably be the biggest name that I've ever battled.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. I'm not even trying to think about who that could be. So that's. I'm sure if France is in here, he's going to clip that and quote that. So, yeah, no, that's a fact, man. Look, you got a little debate going because I seen you post. You good at like throwing questions out there that get the people talking. The 2-on-2 joint with you and your brother A Ward versus Geechee and B-Dot, or the 2-on-2. France said already done. You a sneaky guy, bro. I didn't even know you was in here. I was just totally joking, yo. Shout out to France. Let's talk battle rap. And you wanted to know you asked the people what was the best 2-on-2. Either that, or Fonz and was it Fonz and Av and Get Shine and Lou Castro. I didn't see the results of that, but are you trying to get another 2-on-2 going with any one of those two teams?
Definitely. So me and Ward, I'm gonna be real, bro. We've now granted it's difficult because Ward isn't battling on URL, right? And I'm not battling on RB. So when we come out and we say we want to do a 2-on-2 battle, it would have to be another league to pick this up, right?
Yeah.
And so so that's what makes it difficult. But at the same time, though, there's other leagues that could pick it up. You know what I'm saying? And we feel like we just feel like we feel like right now we can beat any 2-on-2 team. And that's any 2-on-2 team. I don't care if it's NWX. I don't care if it's Fonz and Av. I don't care.
I immediately thought about NWX.
Yeah, that's just us. That's just how we feel at the moment. Those are great. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, NWX is the greatest 2-on-2 team ever.
I agree.
If we get a chance to battle them, I think the creativity would just go through the roof on that battle. You know what I'm saying? And so I thought those two. I mean, because a lot of people saying that the 2-on-2 that Castro and Sean had is up there for battle of the year with Fonz and Av. And I was just like, okay, yo, was it better than this 2-on-2 battle? Because I feel like this 2-on-2 battle is probably one of the best.
No, that was.
You know what I'm saying? And so, granted, it's a different dynamic. It's just a different battle all in general, right? What we were doing, what B-Dot was doing was just totally different than what those guys are doing, right?
Oh, yeah,
but nonetheless, though, it was a fire back and forth for both parties.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, we are trying to get a battle, and it doesn't even just have to be in the United States, where we've told Shotty Horror and Tony D, we was like, yo, let's make it happen out there. So, it's whether it's NWX in the United States or Shotty Horror and Tony D in UK, A Ward and Loso is looking for 2-on-2 smoke.
Looking for smoke. I want to see that, man. Yeah, Shotty. I know you say you be tuning in sometimes. We need that over there, man. Yeah, and like, cause last time I seen you over there, what was your last battle over there against Dialect? I think it was the last time I seen you.
Yeah, that was the only one that I've ever done. That was my only overseas battle. But yep.
Yeah, okay. So you looking? Does it have to just be a 2-on-2, or you willing to go over there smoke?
Nah, I'm willing to go over there. Yeah, I don't know what the protocol is, due to COVID and everything for them. But yeah, I'm willing to go over there. I wanted to be one of the replacements on that. What was the card? The Apex card.
Apex.
Yep.
Yeah.
But me and Shotty, we stay in communication and stuff like that. And so, for them, they've constantly said that Loso has arguably the best debut for them, their best international debut. Now, I know Real Sick months later end up probably like shocking the world as well with his UK debut. So it's up there. Me and him.
Yeah, y'all are definitely fighting for that. Y'all are definitely fighting for that.
But nonetheless, though, like, I was battling a UK legend that day. You know what I'm saying? Who was doing his last battle? It was his retirement battle. And for me to go up there and do what I did, I thought that was that's something that I could obviously look back. It doesn't really get talked about a lot, but I definitely want to sit back and brag about that accomplishment that I had. But nonetheless, yeah, I would love to go back out there to UK. They got a bunch of leagues, so whatever league wants to pick me up, that'd be fine.
That's another guy I want to see you against, Real Sick, down the line. Maybe that's sometime next year. I would like to see that.
Everyone. I think out of all the new guys, maybe Easy, but I think I get hit up to Battle Sick. I've gotten tweeted to Battle Sick more than any other new guy, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think that's just because, what people love, bro, and what fans love, bro, they love like an unstoppable force versus an immovable object at the time, right? Like, you just like, okay, something's got to give. Both of y'all can't just be killing at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just love that. Now, granted, you do have battles that probably happen too soon, but nonetheless, though, that'll be fine. And me and Sick have talked about it. We did our quarantine battle on video, but we've always said like, yo, we'll battle each other if it's like, yo, you guys just have to battle. At this point, we just got to know who's the best.
Yeah, because if y'all wiping out the division, granted, there's no real divisions in battle rap, but if y'all wiping out, y'all peers, it's only right, man. At some point, hell, as cool as Surf and Hitman was, they had to go against each other.
They had to, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I definitely want to see that in the future. Your shows on here is doing really well, man. I try to pop in as much as I can. You're like the only battle rapper on Caffeine that actually really engages with the fans, like reads their comments and talks to them. Like, how are you liking that experience so far? Is that something you want to keep doing, or what?
Yeah, man. I'm, and that's all I know too. Like, I think I always want to stay. So like, I was with my sister, and the UPS guy was outside, right? And I'm talking to her outside, and he's just staring at me, and I'm just like, I said, yo, what's up, man? And he was just like, yo, you're Loso. Literally, like, he's going crazy. He's asking for a picture, right? Then an Uber passes by, and he's like, yo, you live, like, granted, now they find out where I live at, but like, yo, Loso's like that. And so my sister asked me, she goes, man, do you ever get annoyed? And I was like, never. I said, look, like, yo, I work hard for this, and I love the appreciation. So when I'm on my Leap show, whether I have 30 people or whether I go up to 100 and 150 people currently in the chat, I want to make sure that they know, like, yo, you guys aren't just numbers to me. This isn't a numbers game for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Preach.
I like you starting off the show, calling these guys out, 2K Fatigues, Queen Brit, King Foot, like those guys. Like, for me personally, I want them to know, like, yo, you guys don't have to log into my show. But the fact that you do, bro, like, that helps me out. I appreciate that. And I never, granted, bro, like, even though I am at a quote unquote on a platform where I'm probably looked at as a pseudo celebrity or whatnot. Mm-hmm. Like, I never want to operate like that, bro. I want to make sure that, like, bro, every event, and this event, I'm gonna do the same thing. The line's gonna be wrapped around the building, but I'm not gonna be backstage. That I'm gonna be walking around the building too. I'm gonna be walking around that line. I'm gonna make sure I take pictures with them, because these people come to these events and they want to meet their favorite battle rappers. They want to meet these guys that they see on YouTube all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the best advice that I've ever received from somebody on, like, how to kind of, like, navigate when you are kind of, like, elevated or you're in any form of entertainment. You treat superstars like regular people, and you treat regular people like superstars. Exactly. And so
you preaching right now, bro. Go.
So, you know, like, the reason why the Sue Surfs and the Hollow the Dons and all of them rock with me is because I operate like they're my peers. They don't see me kind of operate in no other manner. You know what I'm saying? So, mm-hmm. So that's why we get on the phone. Like, I'm talking with them all the time. Granted, John and I do business as well too, but that's a friend of mine. But there isn't the Hitman Holla. Why Hitman Holla constantly just on his own volition just always says the great things about Loso and stuff like that is because, like, we have relationships with each other, and I've treated them like a regular person. And then while all the other people, I want to make sure that they know I appreciate them. So everybody on the chat, right, like Bum Nitty or Queen Brit, like, I want them to know, yo, I personally appreciate you. Mm. And I need you, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that you guys are here, and I appreciate that you guys are taking your time out of your day to tune into the show. Little old me, you know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna have that mindset, and I think that goes a long way. Because, bro, at the end of the day, Bum Nitty tomorrow could land a spot on ESPN. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You never know.
Like, he's gonna remember, you know what I'm saying? And it's not, and now, granted, that may come off a little selfish, like, I'm only doing this in case you will, but it's not that. It's like, yo, like, I genuinely rock with you.
And you never know when that time comes when somebody will remember you for being sincere and return the favor because they're in the position of being able to give back. Like I got told, like, when you said all of that, if like somebody said Legend the same way, I was literally about to say, I feel like I'm hearing myself talk to myself right now. Because like all of these people I rock with, I check on them. Some of the best advice I've ever gotten are from these same people who are tuning in to listen to my opinion. And I'm just a person who invests in a little equipment from a very accessible place. Shout out to Guitar Center and shout out to Best Buy. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I totally feel the same way. And man, that's pretty much it. If you guys, matter of fact, I'm gonna let the fans, the supporters, because I hate saying fans, I call them supporters. I don't need you to be a fanatic for me. I just need you to support, because I'm gonna support y'all. If any of these people got a channel, I'm definitely gonna tune back in theirs. You know what I'm saying? So if you got any Q&A for Loso, let me. Flavor Hardcore says Loso ready for Ace. Loso and Ace would be good too. That's a good question.
Ace, I mean, that would definitely be fire. Man, I haven't been asked about Ace, I mean, but I don't know what you mean by ready. I don't know if you're trying to insinuate
that you're not ready,
or that, like, he's like on another level from me or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
But if you're just asking me, would I battle him? I definitely would battle Ace. Ace is I think he's one of the best rappers, just pure rappers in our genre, man. And he's just, you know, he's talented, bro. So that'll be a fire battle.
Dispatching Diva, shout out to Diva, always showing love. After you beat, it's a foregone conclusion, huh, Diva? After you beat Twerk, who do you want next? I think you kind of alluded to this earlier, right?
Yeah. So T-Top would be the only name that I would say, like, yo, this is who I want to battle. But besides T-Top, though, I definitely, you know, for me personally, I just want to battle the best, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to battle Rum Nitty. I want to battle Geechee. I want to battle K-Shine. I want to battle those guys, right? But at the flip side, though, I know that there's great battles to be had between me and Real Sick, me and Kid Chaos, me and Jada Nightwing. So, those are just battles that need to happen. Now, granted, they're not necessarily the ones that I would say like, hey, give me on my next plate. Right. But I understand that they need to happen just because, like, yo, this is for the culture. The culture will enjoy this, and I know we will go ahead and put on a movie.
My boy King Rowe from Detroit, man. Detroit in the building. I always feel great when I see my fellow Detroiters in the building. He wants to know what is the favorite battle from you. What do you when you look back at your career so far? What's your favorite battle you've done?
Man, probably this one, bro. This Loso versus Chess joint.
Who did that Payton? That Payton is fire.
Man, out in Tampa. Dope guy, bro. His name is Anointed Artistry, bro. I really loved the battle. And he just, he wanted to bless me, bro. And so I actually met up with him, you know what I'm saying? He got to meet me and stuff like that. And he gave that to me, bro. And I think it's incredible. I actually want to later down the line, I'll sign it, you know what I'm saying? I'll give it a fan or something like that. I got some other joints. I actually still got the silk shirt from Ryder that I got. So I'll get, if somebody wants that, I'll sign that. Like, that's just memorabilia that you can just be like, yo, this is the silk shirt that Loso pulled out, right? You know what I'm saying? So like stuff like that. But as far as answering the question though, I definitely would say probably this Loso Chess one. I thought it was just such a dope conversation. I thought it was fire to see Chess just on 100. Another battle, and then the Vixen battle. I thought the Vixen battle kind of really it's weird because I battled. So when I say favorite, everything's good on your end? Yeah. I don't know if I froze for a little bit. Okay, yeah. So when I say favorite, Chess was the most favorite that most fun I was having during the battle. But maybe Vixen and JC is probably like the battle that I kind of like hold dear. Like, I'm like, yo, this is like some of my most proud work that I've had. And definitely I've received the most praise for as well. So those three would be up there.
Yeah. Somebody asks EFB versus Horseman card. So who would be the whole? So EFB is consistent.
So Geechee Ward.
Okay.
So Geechee Ward. So definitely be Geechee Ward. Be me and Nitty.
You and Nitty.
So actually I know Street Hymns really wants to battle Nitty as well. So if we're just doing a Horseman joint, then maybe that one. But if he battles Nitty, I'm trying to think who I would battle then. Because I've already battled JC. I've already battled Jerry West.
Real name Brandon is EFB.
Real name Brandon's in there. So Saga, I guess Saga can battle Jerry West.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would battle real name Brandon if he's the other guy. Is next EFB? No,
he's Demons, and they've been calling y'all out for a minute too.
They have, yeah.
Shout out to Demons. I like Fate a lot. I think he's one of the top 10 punchers.
No, I just saw Fate against Mad Flex.
Yeah,
I never saw him before. That boy can rap. That boy can punch, bro.
Yeah, I made a top 10 punchers list. People was sick that I put Fate and Jables on there. I'm like, no,
you gotta Fate. That was my first time seeing him. But if he's always like that, that was incredible. That. And I think, and I had Matt Flex winning that battle, but I think it was more because of just like I don't know how long Fate's been battling, but it looked just more like Matt Flex was the veteran and he kind of was just doing a little more couple more things. But Fate was incredible that battle.
Yeah, if you want to watch him in the Riot battle, I think were you guys on the same card on the Riot? No, that was the next.
He battled G-Lo.
He battled G-Lo.
Okay, I have to watch that battle back.
Crazy, yeah. So, definitely. But yeah, any more questions? I think I seen one and I missed one. I'm so sorry. I think that might have been by Diva again. Diva, if you're still in here, you can ask another question. You said what
Harry Potter house
are you?
Man, you know what's crazy? Y'all gonna kill me, bro. I really never got into Harry Potter. I would say Gryffindor because that's the only one that I know. I don't even know if that's a house, but.
Yeah, Rose says, does Loso have merch?
Yes, you can actually go to everythingloso.com, man. I made it easy for you. So same name as my Instagram and social. Just go to everythingloso.com and merch is on there. In fact, I'm dropping some new merch next week. I got these new Loso shirts. So, You guys will be able
Nice.
to get those.
Hey man, maybe one day because I do giveaways on this show kind of often, but I want to kind of stray away from just giving away pay-per-views. Merch
Yeah,
would be something I would be into, so definitely holler at you in the future on that. So we can do a
yeah.
you come on the show, they answer a few trivia questions revolving around you, and we give away it
No,
to the winner. You down for that one
yeah.
day?
Let's do it. Let's do it, bro. Of
My
course.
God! And then the last question, I seen from oh, you said Britt has a great question. Loso versus E Hart. Oh, Kings versus Queens type of joint.
Be
Would you do
fine.
another one?
I would. I don't think Debo would want me to, but I would. Yeah.
Yeah, my E Hart, First Lady Flames, those would be some in my
Five battles.
my yeah. And the I missed your question. Cool Whip asked it again, brother. But Diva had asked who was your hardest opponent to face. Was it Chess so far at
Man,
10?
chess. So it's weird. So it depends on how they're asking the question. If they're talking about my preparation,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I guess I would put it like that. Like
Okay, because in the battle, like, I mean, them their talent can't really, I can't really speak on that because it's just if they show up or not. Preparing, I would just say, as far as just like a clean slate, man, I would say, I mean, unfortunately, it's a guy like twofold, right? So it was Jerry West because he's a guy who's not um once he battles, he kind of just disappears, right? Like
oh
you don't really
yeah,
see him too much. So it's like I
good
didn't
point.
really know what's the conversation that I'm having with him, and then if anybody cares about the conversation that I'm trying to have with him.
Hmm.
But then I would say maybe early on, B Dot was probably a tough battle. One because so it was easy in a sense of material. I had so much to talk to him about, but it was tough because it was the first person that I stood across from that I said he can do everything I can do. There's a lot of battles in which I stand across from an opponent and I'm saying he can't do this. He can't do all right. He can do this better than me, but he can't do this. You know what I'm saying? But that was the first time that I stood across somebody and I said, man, he's a Swiss Army knife just like me. That's what I would like to think of myself. He can do everything I'm doing. So let me go ahead and Dr. Hugh Petty. I know you said brought up Briz, but Briz wasn't different. I mean, if you just asking like my prep time, me not remembering my material, that's just what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
Yeah, but
if
the
you're talking
actual
about
writing.
like difficult to write, yeah, if the question is it difficult to write? Or was it difficult to battle? Like, am I worried about something? Like, that's a different conversation. But if you're just talking about that battle, I don't put that battle in because I feel like that. You know what I always tell people? I'm like, yo, why don't y'all judge that battle like every other battle that people have when they choke, right? The chesses, the twerks, they always say like, yo, quote such and such just didn't show up, so I can't really even talk about that battle.
Yeah.
But for me, that's definitely a battle down the line that I would want a 3-round battle because it's like,
Mm.
yo, y'all know what I do. You know what I'm saying? That was a 1-round battle. I took it on short notice. You know what I'm saying? It was what it was. But I feel like 100% Loso, we having a different conversation. And so I know he had, no, don't get me wrong. Briz has been out for a long, long time. And if he comes back, there's obviously a hierarchy of who we need to see him with, right? We want to see the Mook battle. We want to see Mike P. We want to see whatever conversations or whatever battles are out there for Briz
Yeah.
right before Loso. But I definitely, if he ever gets back to a point where he's active consistently, I would definitely battle him for 3 rounds.
I do want to say, A War was on my show a long time. This is back when I was doing audio only on YouTube, and
Yeah.
I got to give you props because you never put him under the bus. But he has admittedly said that battle was kind of his fault because you kind of didn't want to you was on the fence about it, but he kind of gave you some words on why you should have done it. So he said he always kind of blames himself for
You know who else does that too? John.
Yeah.
Because John, so John had the card, and I wasn't supposed to be on the card. In fact, I wasn't supposed to battle that the first 6 months of 2019 because I had to finish. I had a lot of work at where I was teaching. It was going to be my last year teaching, and I wanted those last 6 months to be clean, right?
Yeah.
And so I turned down Volume 4 versus Jerry West. I was supposed to battle Jerry West Volume 4. I turned down a 2-on-2. I didn't actually I was gonna do the 2-on-2, but me and Saga were supposed to battle Sean and DNA. And so there were a couple battles that were on the plate for me, but I turned them down. The only reason why I did the John battle, John was my brother. He was talking about this Super Bowl event. Julio Jones was sponsoring it, all these other things. And he was like, hey, I want you to battle Briz. And at that point in my career, I was like, man, you know what? I can't pass up on opportunities. In my mind, I wasn't thinking like, yo, you're always going to get better opportunities. You don't have to always jump on a card and risk, high level performance. Well, what ends up happening, K-Shine and C Money can't make it to the K-Shine battle.
I remember that.
And so on top of that, if you remember, it was never promoted as a 1-round card. No one knew going into the event.
Yeah, that was a card that he caught the backlash from me.
He caught a lot of backlash.
And then he did a free card on YouTube to kind of make up for it. I remember all of that.
So a lot of people were like, yo, you charging us X amount of dollars. Well, when they were going to find out, he knew it was going to be like, yo, you charging us this? So there was no way. He really asked me to go ahead and just do this. And so I was just like, all right, bet. And so granted, even though I was on maybe like 5 days prep or something like that, I ended up obviously not. And what's crazy is that during my prep, during my rehearsal, there was never a time where I got through my material clean. Never. I never got through my material clean during any, and I ran by hundreds and hundreds of times and I could not go through it clean. And but I still was never worried. I'm a game time player. So when the lights are on, I'm just like, I bet it's go time. But I slipped up and there was like probably like a 1 minute stretch in which I had to jump over. And so, I ended up finishing the battle strong. I didn't want Jersey out of it. So I ended up finishing the battle strong. But yeah, so, Ward and John, they say that. But ultimately, I mean, I'm an adult. I'm a grown man.
Yeah, you take accountability. And that's why you still here. Yeah, you didn't quit. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So, what was the question? I forgot who was question. I'm sorry, my brother. Like went past again. And then somebody had asked. Let me see if I can find it. No, I can't find it. I'm sorry. Y'all got a couple more questions. I want the brother to head out of here. And then also, I want you guys to know we're still doing the Battle Rap Call-In show. I will move it to 5 p.m. Today. Who wins in a 100-meter dash, you versus A Ward?
Bro, I think I am clearly the best athlete in the Horseman.
Yeah,
I don't even think it's a debate. It's crazy, man. We just finished. We were all together in California, and we were playing basketball together. But unfortunately, Ward just doesn't stay in shape. Saga neither, and Street, he's just on the video game. So
yeah. Somebody asked the PG process. How do you feel about it when it fading out? You kind of changed that. Do you feel responsible for kind of okay? Talk about it.
You got to think about it, bro. I was the first, and what Ward is going through now, and it's on a bigger level because Ward is a bigger battle rapper now than I was at 2018. But in 2018, everything that you see going on, it happened to me, bro. I remember one day I typed in on YouTube Loso PG, just hit search on YouTube. And there were videos after videos after videos of everyone jumping in front of a camera, giving their opinion. Should Loso do the PG? And, we stuck to our guns. We put together a resume and some leverage that I felt URL couldn't deny. And then, boom, we ended up getting what we wanted. We got on Gnome, and the rest is history. So
how do you feel about people who shouldn't need it? That's from Rain. How do you?
Well, there's no proven grounds now. So if you're talking about, I think that there's battlers that can they're gonna come in URL without even having to do the Crucible, because I think the Crucible is even like a step down from the PG almost.
Really, you think that?
If it's at least it's marketed that way to me. Like I feel like think about it. Like back in the day, you would have stamped a PG on an A-Ward battle, even though it's just his first battle, even though A-Ward's done X, Y, and Z. The problem is, though, now there's just no way they're ever going to go ahead and ask A-Ward to do – come on, you're not going to ask A-Ward to do a Crucible. Because Crucible, you're basically trying out.
I thought you was basically saying that because of, with PGs, at least you got the YouTube views from URL.
Oh no. I'm talking about the process. The process
Process.
looks like in the PGs, you're almost starting like at a specific rank.
Mm-hmm.
Crucibles, you're trying out to get to this spot right here. And then when you start battling here, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't even know who your first opponent is in a crucible.
That's
So
true.
but I'll be honest though, like I think I feel like what they should have just done with Proving Grounds, bro. Because just my opinion, I feel like they should have kept the Proving Grounds. They should have maybe tweaked a couple of things that were going on back in the day, and have a class, have like a freshman class, a double XL freshman class, and this was the PG class, like how they kind of were doing it, but a little more structured so that we could clearly know who is part of the 2021 class. You put them in the 2021 class. All right, cool. And then now you're grooming them and stuff. With the Crucibles, it's like, okay, cool. I don't really know, who's who. Now your classes are really based off the Ultimate Madnesses now, right? Like, no matter what, even though Next came out before Elijah Strait and everybody else, he sort of kind of grouped in with them because of the Ultimate Madness class.
Yeah, due to the process. Yeah.
Same thing with the Ultimate Madness one, right? I mean, I heard of Castro way before I heard of Sick and everybody else.
Yeah.
But they were grouped in together.
Yeah, you had to kind of modify even the name and just make it like the new URL,
Yeah.
so it's kind of different. Somebody asked a great question. I think it was RIQ Point of View. He said, with this twerk battle coming up, are you more in a counter writing lane or are you attacking?
Offense. I'm all on the offense in this one. Yeah, I'm all on the offense, and I think it's because
that's a good question.
The conversation is leaning towards that way. You know what I'm saying? It's not. If it was something on me, if it was just like, yo, Loso, we want to know what you got to say when he tells you you're a Christian and you shouldn't be using gun bars. I'm like, if I don't, it's not detrimental. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you guys are going to be like, hey, I kind of want to know what Loso has, because I've already communicated that in other battles. So I'm on the offense a lot in this battle.
And do you feel like, hey, Queen, what's good? That's a vet in here, and shout out to Slogan in here. So like, and with that though, do you feel like you just had to be like that regardless against Twerk because of, you talked about it earlier, being an imposing figure and size, and he's going to be barking. Yeah. You kind of feel like you can't sit there and try to play defense because it's going to look away, like the aesthetics.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and it was kind of difficult for me too, because I always want to. I counter right. There's definitely defensive writing, but it was difficult to carry momentum in my writing and carry energy in my writing when I was doing defensive writing. And so, no, don't get me wrong. I always write material in hopes that it would diffuse what he's now going to do in his round. That is a form of defensive writing. That is a form of counter writing.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't the thesis of my specific rounds. The thesis of every round is a different thesis each round, but the thesis of every round is always, for me in this particular battle, was offensive the whole time. And so, I feel like that's the way he's going to go too. I mean, I think he is going to address maybe to the crowd, I choked last time, or I know people are saying yada, 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 but I think for the most part, he's going to be, that's just the type of battler he is, right? He carries momentum in barking on you and in imposing his will. And so that though, but it's like the 2017 Warriors. A run is coming. A run is coming, bro. They're gonna string off 15 straight points. Your job is to withstand that. Your job is to withstand that particular run and say, okay, it's gonna end at some time. I mean, they're going crazy, the room is shaking, but can I stay composed? Because this is when he goes crazy, it's like Steph Curry in the Oracle, bro, when he hits a three, right? It's just different than when Damian Lillard hits a three in Portland. When Steph Curry has Oracle jumping, it's just different. So what I have to do is saying, okay, Twerk is going crazy right now. Calm down, Los. I got to be aware of the situation. Hold composure, get composure. And when it's your turn, you go crazy. And so that's my mindset.
Do you start? Mama's asks. Oh, I'm trying to read this. Do you? I'm a modify because I see some type. Do you start off by thinking of how, if you was him, what I went away? Basically,
what I would do or what I would say.
Yeah, like if the roles were reversed.
Yeah. So that's with every battler. I always try to think like I always try to play chess. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's the conversation? So, I did that with chess, right? So like I knew that there were going to be some Jesus, and when he starts getting on the Lord's Supper and the females and the Bible and stuff like that. For me, I knew I wanted to go ahead and communicate. You don't say nothing. Don't say nothing about JC. You had your chance to tell JC something and you choked. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's the type of counterwriting I want to do. So I like this question right here. Being that Twerk grew up around the church, you think he's more prepared? You know what's crazy?
Great question, Slogan. St. Louis 314.
Yeah. So a lot of people have told me that, right? It was just like, yo, like you're not gonna. But the question, the thing about it though, is that it's not like I'm gonna go up there and have Bible trivia with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My conversation, I'm actually going to hold this next sentence that I want to say to you, but actually I'm going to promise you that post battle, we're going to have a conversation again. So, but I do want to say that my conversation isn't to go up there and have a Bible trivia game with him. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm sure he knows what I believe and what we both believe, essentially. That's the conversation in of itself, though. The fact that we both know. And so
I feel like I kind of understand what you're saying, but
okay, exactly.
Like,
so moving forward. So like, I mean, I understand that, but at the end of the day, like I said, I gotta rap too. He has to rap, and we'll see, we'll see where the cards land.
And this is the thing I kind of want to say with you here, because I like, I talk about battle rap, I talk about you guys when y'all not here. But I think people get this misconception that like your rounds are constructed just to preach when it's so much more other like things you're talking about. Like you're being very transparent and reflective. Like you talk about losses in your family. Like I don't know if I know people in here get tired of me talking about this, but a lot of these battle rappers use sports references and don't watch sports and use them and misplace them. Like you make a ton of sports references that actually make sense. Like you got a lot of different elements besides just angling, or you might even put some of this within that angle. Do you feel like, being that it's going to be on the stage now because the stages are back, do you feel like you're going to have to cut some of this out? Do you feel like you got to be a little more quicker to the punch as opposed to like these really well thought out buildups? Does that change you at all?
Man, so I sat back and I said to myself, okay, Loso, does your second round for Vixen hit in front of 1,000 people?
Yes.
And I think it does. I think it does. You know what I'm saying? And
it does, definitely.
Even though I was building up in that round, even though I was rapping, even though I was doing, but there were elements in which what I always want to do whenever I'm constructing a round, I'm never just rapping like this, right? It's never just didactic, but just teaching method, right? So what it is like when I'm getting into certain pockets, cool, I just gave you a 4-bar, I just broke down 4 bars and whatnot, and cool, it's a good punch there. Now, even though I want to communicate another truth here, what I'm now going to do is I'm going to switch the cadence so that you can still be educated, but at the same time, you're being entertained.
Yes.
So as I'm switching the cadence now, it's the same vehicle. It's the same delivery or same package, but in a different vehicle. That's what I'm trying to communicate. And so I think that my approach is still going to be the same, but don't get me wrong. I understand that I have to implement certain things because it's a performance now, right? Like I'm not just rapping in Caffeine. This is in front of 500, 600, 700 people, and I think I think the way that I have structured my material, I do think that it's going to hit.
Yeah, and Queen asked a question, and that's the question I think we touched on Good Morning Battle Rap, just about being a little bit frustrated with people using the same angles. Do you expect that? I feel like Twerk is a creative enough guy to kind of get away from that.
Yeah. Same, and it depends on like what you mean by same angles. Like my thing is like, I'm okay. Like at the end of the day, my faith is the biggest. It's the most popular thing about me, and I want it that way, right? So I understand that that's going to be utilized, and it's a free angle, right? It's free material that I'm basically giving you. You don't have to worry about you, man. Loso's a hard name to flip. Well, because I've already given you the whole Bible. You have 66 books now that you could just read, and you can just flip whatever you want. I remember
you telling me Disaster gave you that.
Disaster told me, he was like, Los, you got to understand, like it's a different situation, but J2, right? No matter what J2 does.
That's a good point.
he doesn't. J2 has to understand that they're not just gonna flip J2 or a particular battle or whatnot. The whole homosexual theme, right, is open up to his opponent, and they get to go ahead and utilize whatever they want.
Yeah.
I think people are a little more lenient. Fans are a little more like, all right, bro, we don't want to hear this, more than they are with the Christian joint, because at the same time, you know, people are venting. I feel like when people do bring up the angle with me, I don't necessarily get upset, because I know a lot of times they're venting like their frustrations with God, and they're like, hey, this makes great material, this makes for great TV, and here it is. But my only thing is, I don't get mad at the overused angles. I do get mad at maybe the overused references, right? So don't Christian edge me, WWE. You know what I'm saying? Wrestling, get Christian to the edge. Too many people, like everyone has done that. You don't have to go ahead and
watch this Christian Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale, or you love God, bow, now you get to meet him forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. Like,
Holy Temple.
There's a lot of creative ways that you can implement the Christian angle, which is fair game, into your specific conversation that you want to have with them.
Who do you think has done an okay job going against you in like using those angles? Who you think like, okay, I respect the way they went with that, even though I'm not.
Yo, you know what's crazy? Let me say this, and it's not even the Christian angle. He actually got slandered for this angle, and not slandered, but he wasn't. People didn't like this angle, and people thought he did terrible. But if you watch Emerson Kennedy's second round versus me, right? He has an angle in which he's basically talking about I'm bold about my faith, but I never put on for my race, right? Or I never put on for like my Hispanic community, but he's seen me publicly say Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. But that there's been issues in the brown community, the Hispanic community, and I have not been as vocal. Here's the thing. That was an amazing angle, bro. That it was a fire angle, and it was real. I took that and I was challenged by it. He did not get love for it, because maybe the way that he packaged it.
Did you go first in that battle?
No, he went first. He went first.
Because I felt because I thought you had like an angle about.
I did too. I went second. Mine was better, but nonetheless, though. Like he was, but this is the thing though. I appreciated it because it was original. It was original. Emerson Kennedy is a genius. People don't really understand this, but if you go back and watch all of his battles, there's always something with his outfit that is pertaining to the battle, right? Like against Finesse, he wore this Tennessee shirt, but if you look at the letters, it's spelled Finesse in it. Against me, his whole outfit was a Fear of God outfit, from his shoes to his clothing line, all this stuff. So he does that in particular with certain battles. But nonetheless, though, I do think Emerson Kennedy did a good job in respects to the Christian angle. There's been certain things like for instance, like Moneybags when he battled me, he brought up a quote that I said, how my mother used to force me to go to church all the time.
I remember that. Yeah.
And he said, that sounds like slavery. Like, and when he said that, I was like, yo, if he wanted to, he could have like really just my statement. Yeah. Just my statement alone. Like he could have took that and put it with somewhere else.
Yeah, he never expounded though.
He never expounded it. But I do think people get on some dope topics. And so, it is what it is.
Yeah, man. Listen, August 28th, this Saturday, Loso versus New Jersey Twerk, man. This is a big time matchup again. No disrespect to the main event, but I kind of look at this battle as a main event. It got everything you would want in a main event. And so y'all tune in if y'all are in the building, or if y'all in the area, go get your tickets. And if you're an app user, it will be on the app. If you're not an app user, I would strongly suggest copping the app to watch this one. And Loso, man, hopefully this ain't the last time we have you on here. The people always request you, and not, bro. It's always love, man. Appreciate your time. I did not want to even keep you around this long, but
we here, bro. We went over an hour, right?
Yeah, over an hour. The people had.
Hey, that means we had a good conversation, bro.
Always. I'm gonna stop being humble. They told me being too humble. You're doing one of the best interviewers in the game, though. So I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Hey, man, listen. Go on. Is that talk your? Y'all be telling me to, so I had to. All right. That's my one time. I only do it three times out of the year. So, no, Loso, man, appreciate you. Tune into your show. Let them know what is your schedule for your caffeine show, so people can.
Yo, I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. Usually, it's supposed to be at 7 o'clock every Tuesday and Thursday, but I just randomly just go on now. So if you just follow me, you'll get a notification whenever I jump on. Mm-hmm. So just hit that follow button on my podcast, and you'll see whenever we're gonna have a conversation.
Absolutely, man. Hey, Loso, good luck, man, and we will see you again. And to all the people in the chat, we love y'all. As always, keep it battle rap, stay healthy, peace and love, y'all. See you later.